We got to pass along tonight several new developments about the investigation of a paramedic from West arrested by the ATF for having a pipe bomb. A neighbor of Bryce Reed tells Fox 4 News that he went to the ATF right after Reed admitted to him that he had a pipe bomb. And the McLennan County Sheriff says his deputies and the Texas Rangers have now opened a criminal investigation to determine if Bryce Reed here had any connection to the fire and the explosion at the fertilizer plant. Fox 4's Brandon Todd in West right now with more on the arrest and I guess both investigations moving forward, Brandon.
Yeah, exactly, Steve. Of course, investigators learned about this from one of Reed's friends. And as you mentioned, now we're learning that one of Reed's neighbors gave investigators some more information as well. And now the man who put himself out there as one of the public faces of first responders is in jail.
Cyrus loved fire. He loved it to a fault, to be honest.
Last month, during a eulogy for the West explosion victims, 31-year-old Bryce Reed began sharing some lighthearted and humorous memories of his friend with the same last name, Cyrus Reed, a West firefighter killed in the explosion, and Cyrus's love of sometimes blowing up cans of Cheese Whiz.
Not only had Cy taken the compressed processed cheese product, but said can of cheese had been shot with a BB gun in my backyard and looked like a giant yellow piece of spaghetti.
Ironically, Thursday afternoon, it was Bryce who was arrested by an ATF investigator and confessed to having all the explosive materials needed to make a pipe bomb. According to an arrest affidavit, sheriff's detectives got a call on Tuesday from a resident in Abbott, just a few miles north of West, saying he had explosive materials. According to the affidavit, there was galvanized pipe and 2 galvanized end caps, as well as several pounds of chemical powders in individual bags, and that the resident had unwittingly taken possession of the components from Reed on April 26th. The affidavit reads, "It was determined that the destructive device components found at the residence had been in the possession of Bryce Ashley Reed." Reed was arrested.
Cy was a firefighter, and he loved every minute of it.
The Justice Department released a statement that it will not speculate whether the destructive device has any connection to the West fertilizer plant explosion on April 17th. And reminiscent of his eulogy speech, poking fun at Cyrus's apparent love for pyrotechnics, a neighbor of Bryce Reed tells Fox 4 off camera that Reed told him he got the pipe bomb from Cyrus Reed, but had given it to a friend in Abbott. That neighbor went to ATF with that and more information. In a recent Facebook post, Bryce Reed appears to try and address concerns he tried to profit from the explosion aftermath. "I have not received 1 cent for anything that I did to help with this situation. I lost a lot in this, and there have been incredibly kind people who are taking donations so I can get a home and life back. However, never would I profit from anyone's death."
I hope they keep him in jail.
Other neighbors of Bryce Reed are stunned. Crystal Ledane says she's lived next door to Reed for 3 years.
No, nothing has raised suspicion. You see him bring in Walmart bags. You see him bring in gallons of milk, bags of ice. The same things you bring into your house.
And if Reed is found guilty, he could face up to 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Steve?
Hey, Brandon, the ATF witness that you actually talked with us, had a lot of information to share about Bryce Reed. Was moving this package, did that mean Reed thought investigators were on to him? What do we know?
Based on what the neighbor was saying, it sounds as though he did. When the neighbor was asking about the pipe bomb after he had been told that, he said, "Well, where is he?" He said, "Well, no, I've moved that. I sent it to a friend's house, but investigators have found that, and they've already talked to me about it." And when the neighbor asked, "Well, have they arrested you or indicted you or anything?" he said, "No, but I know they're looking into it, and I've already got an attorney on this." So it sounds as though he kind of knew what was about to happen anyway, Steve.
Okay, Brandon Todd in West tonight. Thank you. Bryce Reed lists a wide range of occupations and work experience on his LinkedIn account. They include a 1-year stint with a hazmat company that handles incidents involving weapons of mass destruction. Bryce Reed was also a helicopter paramedic for 2 months at Children's Medical Center in Dallas. The hospital says he took a voluntary leave of absence in early April.